Grand Rising Tribe, it's Mr. Hall back again. Uh, if you are not familiar with me, uh, I'm a master healer, artist, founder, conscious systems architect, literal death survivor, ethical, taboo kink, uh, tantric, pleasure healing, educator. So many different titles, so many different labels. Very irrelevant as we are collectively uh, realizing now, not only in relation to separating from titles, but and in understanding there is more, right? Ultimately, reality is catching up to define what I am as unexplainable and undeniable. I am because we are, right? So, a few things that I've channeled so far. As I begin the video, I begin to channel, okay? You've shifted into the fifth dimensional state of being if we look at consciousness in dimensions and the multiplicities, the multitudes, the ways that we are able to exist within this human experience, okay? And something significant about reiterating, we are not only the body is a part of us. We are consciousness, the spirit, having the human experience, okay? This is an axiom. So, something about language, no matter where you are in the world, something about language and the way that language assists in connection, okay? So, you making new connections through different forms of language, okay? So you may be tapping into a cult, you may be tapping into esoteric knowledge, you may be a tapping. So something about a previous attack that, or perceived attack, that you're separating from. I feel this very heavy energy being lifted from you, okay? And this can be also globally as well on a macro and micro scale. But I feel this energy being lifted away, okay? The Time Master, right? So something about you tapping into the balance, the mystic shaman oracle, right? So the balance between divine feminine and divine masculine energy, and this has been repeating, as this has been a large cycle of many individuals on the planet, integrating both their divine masculine and both their divine feminine. So irregardless of gender, the energy is what we're focusing on, is tapping into a place where both divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy is bringing and being brought into balance, okay? So I digress. From the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck, we have the Time Master. Look at this. This looks like the Fool, a wild man, a crazy man, a bit insane, right? And this is referencing what I'm picking up from this card is that being outside of time, right? Separating from the perception of linear time, we have the Ouroboros, the infinity symbol, right? We're stepping into a place of color, right? This looks like the madman, okay? Essentially, from the external. But if you're able to pick up energetically all of the signatures of symbolism, of nature, of balance, are emanating the colors of the rainbow, okay? So something significant if we want to look in this in the terms of LGBTQ plus. This is an omniistic animistic channel. All energies and practices are included, as there are many truths. Only requirement is that we let the energy flow, okay? So with the Time Master, the number 57 being here, so 57 may be very significant. So it's spiritual change to the identification of feminine energy is what I'm picking up from this. Okay? Breaking down into a 3. So something divinely guided about the shifting of power, the shifting of collective understanding, the shifting of your intrinsic understanding, intrinsic knowing, right? Clairvoyance, clairs being activated. Yeah, some type of thunder taking place. The buffalo spirit as well. Okay, so something about the song Buffalo Soldier, if you've ever heard that, depending on where you are in the country, it's a popular song from the islands. But I'm picking up intuitively that spirit is shifting with a strong force, the force of thunder, the force of nature, into having many of us tap into this time master outside of these outdated systems that have previously governed society. Okay, that may be significant. You may have been getting an inkling on that. So I'm also picking up that you may have been having doing some astral traveling, going through realms, dimensions of consciousness. I'm picking up on this reading heavy emphasis on quantum physics, okay, on theoretical science, becoming a bit empirical, all right? Understanding the psychic nature and interconnectedness between all things, living, non living, the balance of being in existence at all, right? Being here now, which we are so lucky to have. All right, and I'm going to pull from the Psychic Tarot as well. I'm going to blend these two. So, blending of Psychic, Shaman, and Oracle happening. This is significant. A new pattern, a new form, you freeing yourself from some type of perceived catastrophe, some type of perceived, okay, something significant about 4. All right, and I'm picking up layered cake, layered food, okay, layers in perception, okay, layers around being able to perceive beyond perception, okay, all right, outside of limiting beliefs, okay, as far as beyond perception. So we'll go ahead and go with this half first. Okay, so I'm picking up that there's the Constitution is being reorganized. So this can be within a government sense. So we're picking up global governments as well. Something may be going on around that. And then also this energy of suffering and silence being reversed. Yeah. We're waking up. You're waking up to what you deserve, what you will not put up with, what is true for you, what's real for you, right? It seems that someone attempted to keep you in this childlike state of mind in the perspective of not honoring your own thoughts, your own feelings, how you feel, what you think, what you know, your personal experience, almost in a sense feeding off of you, feeding off of, I won't say your naivety. What I'm picking up is feeding off of your loyalty, feeding off of you energetically, okay? Because once, it seems that there's the biggest theme that I'm picking up is quantum, theoretical, and the logic of the previous way of being in existence, the previous way and order of existence is being restructured, right? And so what we'll possibly see is a lot of information similarly to these cards, right? And how we even define a card. What we define as real, right, is being shifted. What we're able to perceive as real is being shifted. And this is, we can compare this to being the veil being thin. However, the veil was never missing. The veil was always thin. It was simply our capacity as a species, right, to be able to tap into that energy. So yeah, the serpent reverse. So in the recent past, there's a balance to memories of love, right? Really identifying what energies and frequencies needed your love, okay? And we have a lot of greens in the first 2 cards that have popped out, okay? Greens and blues. So there may have been, okay, and we'll put those together. I'm being guided to put those together. So yeah, 6-9 as well. So a reflection, a mirror, right? I'm picking up on this mirroring energy. Instead of identifying and contextualizing information, existence, I'm picking up chaos magic, okay? I'm picking up nuances. I'm picking up nuanced energies and frequencies, really being able to tap into those subtle energies, okay? Let's see. Wow. All right, and we had 3 cards fall out from the Psychic Tarot deck. All right, so we had hope in the recent past, right? So you may have had hopes. You may have reactivated your hope and believe silence. In the recent past, you were triggered possibly, so I'm picking up guilt tripping, some type of psychological manipulation that was taking place in order for you to step away from your true path, your north node, what really identifies with you as a human being, and also what identifies as you as a soul, and your soul purpose, mission, expression of self, what you are, organically, to the matter, to the bone, to the point, right? You reflecting on these memories of love that you had for different situations in your past that may have ultimately debilitated you and your expression into where and what you are meant to be, right? And I'm seeing with 46 here, the serpent reversed. So it seems that instead of having a Kundalini awakening, having a snake shed its skin, having the reptilian energy feel and be balanced, okay, this ego, this balancing, it was out of balance, and you recognize that. And through this alchemization, okay, through this change, through this shift, okay, being the eagle, okay, as we see this eagle here, almost as though the eagle giving it wings, okay, or even the snake having wings itself, the serpent having wings itself, you took flight, you've risen outside of these limited mindsets, beliefs, and entrapments of expectations that those memories of love were burdens on yourself, your soul. And you've shifted into a new consciousness, a new state of being, a new way of being. And this is healing and cathartic for your spirit, giving you hope. Okay? With the number 8 here, you've tapped into the ultimate abundance, infinite abundance I'm picking up. You've tapped into your oracle energy. You've tapped into the energies of being surrounded by light. And this is not to say light or good or evil, right? But your true light, your true essence, what speaks to your soul, what's calling you to be authentically you in the capacities that exist within reality and more. Okay, not just society, not just perspective, not just perception, but being able to tap into new energies that are not so new, but being remembered, and being remembered, okay? Tapping into these levels of hope, creativity, expression, okay? I'm picturing, what's coming to mind is the first film ever created, or in recorded history, right? The first artist to art, the first teacher to teach, the first language to language, right? These are the emphasis. This is the emphasis that I'm picking up. You've exited some form of soul trap, some form of mental trap, some form of enslavement that may not have been literal, but would have been placed on you since childbirth. I'm picking up root magic. I'm picking up voodoo, hoodoo, different ancestral practices of cultural limitations, okay, cursing a bloodline, okay, generational curses. I'm picking up the chosen ones, these types of energies. So with this trapped in fear around abundance, it looks like you're changing your perception around what abundance means for you. With the number 8 here, you may have been seeing 888, you may have been born on the 8th. This can be a license plate number, this can be a way of existing, this can be a pattern or flow that you've recognized, okay? Because the thing about the infinity symbol as well, and I'm picking up the infinity symbol in this 8, the thing about, so infinity was trapped by your limiting beliefs and or the perceptions and projections that were being thrown at you, okay? And I did pick up this mirror energy. So the thing is, you being within the capacity to be multidimensional, have many layers, have depth, have complexity, have paradoxical experiences within yourself, and reconciling that consciously and subconsciously may be triggering for others, okay? It may be something that specific groups, specific individuals, specific teams, specific parts or expressions of reality and existence may not be able to understand. So this reading, it definitely feels for those that are in between worlds, in between realms, able to see beyond what is seen with the eyes, right? Able to see with the mind, able to articulate through the mind with the throat chakra, okay? I'm picking up a resurgence of original truths, okay? And this is breaking these ancestral patterns as we are the ancestors now, okay? What's being done now. So the term that I'm picking up, let's pick for a specific demographic, and again, this is globally. Also, if I've already lost you, this reading may not be for you. Go ahead and do some research and you'll be better adept at understanding the language that I'm communicating, right? There's many layers and contexts within all things, and if you do some research, or if you would like a guided reading or a session with me, you can click the link above in the bio. If it doesn't resonate, share it with someone who may need it. It may be helpful for them, okay? If you feel inspired or called to, go ahead and get that shared. Even if someone doesn't need help, right? Sharing the information may be a space for an awakening, right? Will we awaken the next Martin Luther King? Will we awaken the next Einstein, the next genius, the next greats of greats, right? Which we all are. But moving forward, if it is resonating, different aspects of the timeline. So on one aspect, you may still, depending on where you are on your spiritual awakening journey and understanding of consciousness, human existence, and the more, essentially, you may be stuck in either of these patterns. You may be in a place of hope. You may be going through those phases of grief that we mentioned in the previous video. You might want to check that out as it's relatable. And or you may be stuck in a reptilian mind space, a lower vibrational energy. So wanting to shift, okay? The energy is wanting to shift. You're being guided to take, when we flip this card, this triangle here representing the masculine energy and fire energy, okay, with that orange, this teal rustic color, right? So shifting the action that has been being taken, okay? You want to shift that energy, all right? Depending on where you are in the timeline. Okay, so we had 4 cards come here. All right, and something about power. Yeah, power being redistributed, the balance between beast, man, okay? The divine feminine, divine masculine, right? The intellect and the oracle, right? The architect and the oracle. These different energies coming together, the root and the, so a balancing, so very significant on the card as well, I'm sure, through the psychic tarot. But if we see the beast energy with the Leo energy here, the solar primal energy, these reptilian energies, also with the green eyes, okay? So a transhuman transmutation, but as we see here with the root chakra and the beast being balanced on either side, as we see the intellect having the beast intellectual, right? This purple, let me digress. Looking at the purple and reds on the card, we see that red would be associated with the root chakra, the primal chakra, but it's switched where the purple is blending with the beast and the root is blending with higher consciousness, and together they are blending all, okay? So a mix, a square, a quadrant, right? New dimensions being opened for both aspects of the self. New aspects being opened for divine feminine energy, new aspects of expression for the divine masculine energy, right? And we see that happening, this balance of rising the beast and, well, let's not say lowering, giving depth to the beast and giving depth and connection to the higher self, okay? Going deeper, all right? And possibly also you watching your words. I'm picking up, not watching what you say, but and watching the vibration, the expression, the frequency, vibration, and energy of expression, okay? Watching the way and witnessing as the understanding is evolving to seeing the way that your expression, your existence is co-creating reality, okay? And or the perceptions and perspectives around it, all right? You being able to grasp these broader concepts well. Yeah, because as soon as I say that, grasping these broader concepts in a better context, okay? The moon is reversed. You're not stuck in any subconscious illusions, right? This fear energy, this suffering in silence, or this trapped in fear. You're no longer trapped in fear by the unknown. You're able to step into the unknown with the moon reversed. Opposite of the moon, the sun. Okay, this is where I'm picking this up. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, completion. Okay, so a new beginning around these cycles and natures of the moon, of existence, the beautiful dance, the symbiotic relationship between ourselves, the sea, the moon, right? All of it being interconnected. So no longer being trapped in fear around abundance. And this may have been a tactic from lower or perceived opposition, because we all are connected. You are your fear. You are your goals. You are your attributes. The dissolution, the permeation, the separation from being trapped in fear around abundance, as abundance is being redefined in real time globally, okay? So releasing yourself from a survival mindset is coming to mind as well. Releasing yourself from being perceived, releasing yourself from the expectation of limiting being unlimited. being limitless, okay? Being limit more, okay? Being limit more. All right, if we look at the subconscious effects of limitless, okay? Dancing around the moon. I'm also picking up geisha for some reason, so someone may be involved in some form of, okay. Circling back, we are entering Scorpio energy. This is where this heavy sexual sacral energy is coming from. If you look at the last reading, I didn't mention that, but there's a heavy emphasis on this sexual energy. There's a heavy emphasis on this creation and cyclical nature, all right? And being separated from any type of intrepidation, any type of illusion, any type of mental block or chaos, being separated from this, being able to see beyond, being able to see with and more, okay? To attach yourself to abundance, okay? And the actions that you possibly were taking in the past may have, you're able to recognize now that the actions that you were taking in the past may have been counterproductive to your soul's journey, even though logically and with rational sense, rational logic, these may have been the most practical steps to take. Eating and or deteriorating, in a sense, selling the soul, because as soon as you accept something that doesn't allow yourself to be in its full expression, that is limiting parts and aspects of the soul, the spirit, that would be considered as signing away your soul, selling away your soul, right? Making a sacrifice, but sacrifice even in and of itself being convoluted and diluted and or perversed in its meaning, right? So you've balanced the way and what sacrifices you are willing to make for yourself, because sacrifice ultimately will lead to a greater space for yourself. And this isn't coming from a selfish perspective. This is coming from a perspective of when your cup is full and you are able to activate and authentically express yourself in your being of this human existence, you are better able to empower others to express themselves, no matter how that may look, right? And that's the thing. You're not focused on how it looks. You're not focused on, I'm picking up this energy very strongly. It's coming through. You're not focused on what is being perceived. You are focused on truth. And the more truth, the more space for existence, the more space for fulfillment, the less fragmented souls, the less we have energies stepping into spaces collectively that are debilitating, okay? The more freedom, the more exaltation, the more liberation, all right? Okay, I'm channeling. So I channeled. Let's look that up. Aknuk. If that is a local dialect to where you are, I'm not sure if that's a language, may have been channeling something greater. That happens sometimes. If you know and you're within spiritual circles, we would call this channeling. You can say tongues, you can say whichever terminology you like. So, okay. Okay, I have a codex that I've created through different means of information gathering. Aknuk. Okay. Let me interpret this for you, because that has significance. Okay. Okay, so wow, God's favor. So Kanu, okay, an African origin, okay. Okay. Okay, Anak Amun. So something about African origins, something about Egyptian origins, and even currency, okay, as far as Croatia, okay. In Swahili, this would represent woman, kuna. So kuna, kanu, kuna, anuk, okay. That may be significant. Breaking down into God's favor or loving, okay, having love for yourself. Also AK-47, all right. So I'm picking up a gun with flowers on it, a physical weapon with flowers on it, right? Not shooting flowers, but being able to embody these divine energies in sacredity, okay, in sacrament, in anointing, okay, the blending of these energies. Wow, this took a few turns, but confirmation from my bird friends. I don't know if you can hear that. So back to the reading, right? It seems that your destiny was being attempted to be thrown off, you know, stepping you outside of your power, having you pick a timeline for yourself, okay, that may not have been authentic to you. Because as we see, if this upside down aspect, these two aspects of the timelines that this energy in the card could have selected would have left her almost phased out, as if they weren't here, as if she or it wasn't here, regardless of energy, but as if release, excuse me, as if the ascension or the depth within was going to be leading away from the connection of all. Okay, so something attempting to destiny. I'm picking up destiny swap. I'm picking up energies of interjecting perceptions that had been indoctrinated and fed to us as a humanity and society, being so indoctrinated into your destiny that it separated you from your true destiny, your true north node, while giving false hopes of success, false successes. Okay, yeah, smoky mirrors in reverse. You're in this, the current energies right now that you're in, you're having these, again, this can, remember the context that we can, there may be a bit of chaos going on around you. I don't know if you can hear the honking, the police, it's, something doesn't want me to get this out, and in perception, right? But the point being, you're no longer having anything hidden. The subconscious, illusionary, some secrets have come out. The smoky mirrors, all of these illusions, all of these false masks, they have slipped away, and they're slipping away. Your own illusions, right? Your own self-illusions, your own disbeliefs, your own being a little delulu, right? Your own energy of not getting your shit together in aspects of your soul, your spirit, your energy, understanding you've experienced what you've experienced, right? Taking authority in charge of this and getting out of all of these illusions that kept you trapped in fear around some type of perceived step for abundance, some perceived guidance, right? X, the energy that I'm picking up is A, B, and C will lead you to D. Unfortunately and fortunately, you have experienced that to not be the truth, and you are now honoring your truth, knowing yourself, being able to work with logic and sense, being able to work with masculine and divine feminine energy, being able to step into your authority, honor your power, channeling your ancestors, channeling the light, channeling the dark, channeling the accesses that have been granted to you as a divine being. Okay, stepping within your authority. Okay, this is a very strong energy. I'll digress. In the recent past, when I was reading that portion of the reading, I picked up on this energy that is just absolute. Okay, absolute truth. Absolute truth. All right, and especially with that channeling that I had of the Anak. So Aknuk. Okay, you may want to look into that Aknuk. Okay. Yeah, so you're like a nuclear bomb. Something about that as well. There may be talks or emphasis on some form of perceived nuke. So this may be dating back as well to the times during the every societies and civilizations on Earth where there's some type of neutralization or some type of nuke, okay, nuclear change, okay, to the structure of the human species. So I'm picking up on now shadow governments, different groups, CIA, FBI, NSA, DOD, especially within American groups, but depending on where you are in the world, M6, MI6, and Mossad. So different militias, different military groups attempting to instill trapped, or these military groups may now be trapped in fear around the consciousness rising faster than the capacity to keep lower vibrational energies in control. That is very significant as well. Okay, the contracts that possibly were made, this is where we get more into the quantum aspects and the theoretical aspects, and if you have experienced the unexplainable, undeniable, have had near-death experiences. But the energies of extraterrestrial beings or entities or dimensions that have been contracted to work with Earth, harvesting energy, loosh, heavy, dense emotions, keeping vibrations low, keeping the mind trapped within one perspective, okay, for societies and civilizations globally. It seems that these contracts are being broken. There's been an energy of divinity stepping in for the collective, for yourself, you stepping in for yourself, okay? As divinity would be an expression of your higher self, your more in-depth, more interconnected self, okay? Getting to oneness, Zao, 10, Taoism, okay? And 10. 10 may be very significant. So this mirror reality, so the mirror that we have been fed has been an illusion. Collectively, multiple individuals are awakening to this and no longer accepting the fallacies, okay? Even within logic, all right? Even within rationale, even within sense, everything is being inspected, really stepping into a space to question what is even real, right? And from balance, because some of us have been empowered, and this is where this would be for the leaders, this would be for the healers, this would be for the individuals that have the expression and capacity to understand beyond what were the standard deviations. Okay, so something significant about mathematics as well, but beyond the business as well, beyond the standard deviations of normalization, of what is normalized, of what is within the parameters to be valuable, what is attempting to be silenced, okay? You are able to tap in between these places, right? With middle world coming here from the shaman oracle, right? A balance between the spiritual, the physical, okay? The terrestrial, okay? Terrestrial spaces. Yeah, there may have been some type of curse, right? This is what I picked up, some type of curse, all right? Some type of curse around the human species, consciousness, our development, how quickly we can move, all right? If we look at time in a linear aspect, all right? But being outside of time now, right? So releasing the curse of being trapped in fear around abundance, being trapped in fear around fearing the unknown, being trapped in fear around any smoky mirrors, okay? We're separating from all of that shit. That's nice, all right? And you're having patience and power, right? As this destiny swap that was being attempted, it's reversed, it's done, okay? This 10. So seeing it upside down, it still says 10, right? Seeing it reversed and reflected, 0, 1. So I'm picking up binary, I'm picking up on code, I'm picking up on breaking down of the matrix, right? Really allowing your destiny to pour in. And if we look on the card, what I'm seeing is almost as though the soul rising, okay? The spirit rising within you through patience, balance, right? Do you see all these colors, all these different aspects of the one person, right? All of the different identities, the complexities, okay? Identifying beyond titles, labels, right? Similarly to how I would introduce all of my videos or all of my channeled spiritual messages for you and perspectives, okay? In context, outside of context, but really having the patience to see and watch yourself grow through a soul perspective, through a higher perspective, outside of identifiers, okay? With the number 5 here. So 14 breaking down into a 5. So 14 may be significant, the number 10 may be significant, the number 8 may be significant. These could be months, dates, years, cycles, patterns, past lives, okay? Dimensions, okay? Point being, you have the power. We got the power, all right? You got the power to readjust this destiny. You've taken control of destiny again. You've taken control of destiny with power and patience, okay? You've stepped into this. Yeah, the seer energy. The seer, you are able to see. Do you see how many faces are existing on this one card, okay? This one physical matter, all right, that is actually anatomically simply vibrating at the same speed as I am, as we are, so we can touch it. Unfortunately, and fortunately, you're not able to touch it because you're not physically here with me, right, at this speed here. However, you can touch it mentally. You can allow this to give you space. The imagery should be activating your subconscious, all right? As we see all of these eyes that are a part of the masculine energy by the hands, okay? Being able to do something with your hands may be significant. Being able to build something, being able to create something. Even if this is not a literal home or literal physical object, you are able to create something within your mind that is now giving it structure. So you're giving structure to something in your mind, and you giving something structure through visualization, through the active practice of thinking the thought, right? Thoughts become things, okay? Everything around us at one point was a thought, correct? Correct, right? If we look at it from the societal foundations, okay? But you have tapped into your masculine energy. You have tapped into even more that is still yet to be defined, okay? The unexplainable. You've tapped into communicating interdimensionally, communicating. The imagery that I have is a circle that's coming to mind. Is a circle, in the center of this circle is a dense circle, you being your flesh, and you being able to sense out through all different capacities of human existence and beyond and more that have yet to be revealed, that have yet to be communicated effectively to the mass public. You may be a part of specific groups, societies, cultures that have ancient knowledge, okay? And you sharing this knowledge is going to be beneficial for the collective, all right? Because changing even one life, inspiring even one change is a ripple effect in the greater cosmos, okay? You are the effect of the cosmos in that context and more, okay? You are the seer, tapping into this energy. The number's 45, 9. So yeah, completion, you've completed, okay? And even being able to perceive, if we look here, this energy that's a part of the stick, right? A part of the staff, a part of this summoning tool, okay? This erect energy, right? You being balanced between the red and the white, okay? The spiritual, non-physical. So ghosts, I'm picking up paranormal activity, I'm picking up ancestral, okay? And the root, okay? The visceral life force, okay? The grounding, right? You have your mind grounded in a healthy balance, while your throat chakra is able to create worlds, okay? Giving yourself this authority. I'm picking up prophecy, I'm picking up seeing, right? The seer, not only witnessing, because to witness is to see something. To witness something is to not completely understand it. To see something is being able to grasp and get the full picture in context and more, okay? So seers, this is where I'm going to complete the message, all right? So we have multi-layered, past, present, future, okay? Above, spiritually, mentally, physically, okay? Many contexts. But this is the energy that I was guided to read on for you today, okay? And I'll go ahead and pull, yeah, so be on the lookout. You're aware of any type of deception and envy, some type of bullshit, okay, taking place around you. You got that shit, get the fuck out of here, right? You're getting that out of here, all right? Rejoice in celebration, all right? You're rejoicing in celebration. This is your energy. This is the energy. You are rejoicing with spirits, your ancestors, your tribes, your understanding of consciousness. You are aligning to higher dimensions, frequencies, perceptions, right? At the highest scale in space, we are all interconnected with the oneness. But and in being the physical vessel, you have really balanced out where your celebratory energies of rejoicing will be, okay? And getting if you see someone happy, for some species, some human beings, some other energies, entities, frequencies, to see you happy brings about deception and envy, right? Oh, this why are they happy? Why do they get to be happy? Right? It's spiritually a divine, aligned. This is your time. This is your time to celebrate. All right? As seasons exist, as patterns exist, as a bad day doesn't mean a bad life, right? So you're celebrating in the storm. You're being able to, your cup is overflowing. It's being filled, right? And it's these orbs that these orbs that can be known in specific circles, okay? Literally specific circles as spiritual messengers, okay? Orbs, spiritual orbs. Go ahead and look into that if you're unfamiliar. Is bringing this connection that you have is bringing some type of deception and envy. But we don't got the time for the hate, right? We didn't know we could kill. In context, we didn't know we can kill until we killed our hate, until we killed our self-loathing, until we killed our separation from ourselves, until we killed what in us kept us away from fulfillment, okay? Within ourselves, all right? Not supporting going and doing that, okay? Now, yeah, positive movement forward. Something significant about abundance coming to you, some type of abundance. So depending on where you are on the timeline, dharma of karma, karma of dharma, depending on where you are, you may be in a place where abundance was being kept from you by yourself, okay? You believing it's impossible, you be lying, all right? Why you always lying? So something about you lying to yourself, you stop doing that, right? And then also not accepting lies from others, okay? So this abundance is manifesting to you very quickly, no matter what form that it will be taking, okay? This can be literal inheritance, this can be literal abundance. A lot of individuals within the timeline have been discussing stolen lands, stolen frequencies. The corruption is being wiped out. The corruption is being elucidated. The corruption through global environments is being clarified. Okay, the balance is being restored. So have patience. Take positive movement forward. All right. You already know this. You are your own best guide, okay? I'm here to simply provide perspective and confirmation, give context into the inner knowings, the inner feelings that you may not have a circle or space to celebrate and liberate yourself with. But we are here, tribe. We are growing. I'm so excited for us. This is beautiful, okay? This is good energy. Yeah, the gatherer. Let's call this the gathering space, all right? The gathering. All right, and the number 21 here with 3 again. Yeah, divinely balanced, okay? Be receptive to this energy. If this is aligning with you, I'm so grateful. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and click the link in the bio for more perspectives and aspects of myself and what I offer as far as products and services. Click the shorts link for instant confirmation. I'll get to posting some of those today. And click the videos below. If you're not on YouTube, check the link, get to YouTube, and so you can get these channeled messages, okay? All right, tribe. Anak Amun, abracadabra, as you wish, right? And so mote it be, and so it is. All right. Okay, see you next time, tribe.